Hey yo, what is going on? It's 2025, and yes, it's been a moment. I had to escape my own intense Christmas suffering. Yeah, I thought I'd just drop back in and see what it pulls up to. All the usual. He's somehow, some way survived past Christmas. I don't know what happened with this. This is like a few videos ago, I guess. And he had some sort of crazy, intense toothache. But then the next video is like, it's gone. It's like literally gone the next day. So I don't know really what to make of that. So, intense Christmas suffering, courtesy of American Musical Supply and Minnesota. Can't forget Minnesota. Alright, Paul, it's been a moment, but you thought you were rid of me. No. I'm about to go off on your ass. Take it away. Oh no, Paul. Oh shit. So much pain. Oh goddamn. Oh. Deep breaths.
I didn't think it would be possible to have a worse Christmas than I did last year.
I think his last video before he made this one was like a recital of Shakespeare or Hamlet or something like that, where he's doing the drama class thing, and now he's doing this video where he's like retching in pain, and oh, it's just so overwhelming. Yeah.
Last year I was just feeling sad. I hadn't had family in 30 years.
30 years?
I've been walking to work from that hotel for 13 months. I left the hotel on Thanksgiving because I finally bought this piece of junk car, this death trap. I went back to living in the car. So I went to the backstabber, who represented herself one
Give me a moment. The backstabber.
way to me, not the way she really is. And based on how she represented herself to me, I asked her for her help.
And she just didn't care, Paul. That goddamn backstabber. Well, has he dropped her name yet? Isn't it time to drop her name?
And she turned that into an attack of ruthless indifference.
It didn't matter that it was so much like she was being cruel and twisted. It was the fact that she was apathetic and indifferent to him, didn't say much to him, didn't say anything to him at all, really. And that really, that like twisted the screws.
And I asked if I could give her the gift, and she said yes.
Oh,
Never
God.
again. She never talked to me again. She never came up and said Merry Christmas, never asked me how I was doing. Just ruthless indifference, the thing that makes you feel like you're the most worthless person on the face of the earth. The one thing you can do to somebody, that is worse than hatred. Absolutely ruthless. The cruelest thing you can do to another human being. Everyone in the office saw the...
What is that setup? He's grabbing his other arm and it's twisted in a weird way. I don't know what I was looking at then.
The impact of that on me. That one supervisor gave me a $600 guitar that he had paid for.
Shit.
To try to cheer me up.
$600.
The last part of this backstabber's attack was to file a malicious harassment claim against me when I gave her the gift that she had given me her permission to give her. And I spent 2 months working on.
After I'd shown her the courtesy, dignity, and respect to ask her permission first. Whatever.
Well, last Christmas, I was just at the beginning of this ruthless indifference from her, plus having to be in the car. And it was the worst Christmas I ever had. And it didn't have to be her again. It could have been any person. There's nothing special about her. Anybody who I go to, and I trust enough, and I give them that trust, and I elevate them, I honor them by saying, you are someone I consider special enough to ask for help. And she turns that around into a weapon. Ultimately, a deadly weapon. But this Christmas is unfathomable.
Have you ever held your hand against your face like that and then twist and grab it? I mean, yeah, I'm doing it right now. It's a very odd thing.
Christmas was on Wednesday. For the end of Monday, all of Tuesday, Christmas Eve, and Christmas, and about 3/4 of the next day on Thursday, I sat in this car. I probably had an eighth of a tank of gasoline to start with on Monday. And I would start the car and try to generate some heat. And it wasn't freezing cold. It's not like it's below zero. It was 20, but I mean, 20 to 30, it depends. It changed every day. But by Christmas morning, I had nothing left. I couldn't start.
I feel like I've had toothaches so bad before where it swells up and you can't even speak. You literally can't even speak. You just go, I'm so much tired. Like you don't want to speak. You don't want to agitate the area that's inflamed. Yet Paul is like a motor mouth, going at a mile a minute.
Start the car again. And I kept starting it, and it got down to where it said 0, completely empty, 0 miles available to drive. That means no heat. That means no effective way to generate electricity for this gear. I posted the video I had, 2 videos I had. They were pretty much already done, but I already had power when I made those. So from Monday night till Thursday afternoon, I was sitting in this car basically with no heat. And for the last 24, 36 hours or so, literally no heat. I never was able to run the car again. No food, obviously, duh. I mean, for Thanksgiving this year, I got a glass of ice water. I didn't even have that for Christmas this year. I had nothing. But the problem is, by Thursday, after being in this cold for so long, I'm in this cold, covered in like 6 blankets. I get suffocated just having that many blankets on me.
That might be the worst excuse yet. He's like, it's like a cat sitting on a baby's face or something. Like, I'm going to be suffocated by so many layers of quilts and blankets. Okay, I mean that's not a great way to go, Paul. Honestly.
And then the temperature on Thursday started going up. That causes a pressure change. I got this horrible infection in my teeth. Not just one, but like 3 of them.
Shit.
I can't do anything to stop the pain. So from Monday, I'm sitting here all alone on Christmas, having been murdered by the people I trusted the most. No food. Nobody ever showed up to do anything to help me. They just left me here through the whole Christmas. All by myself, freezing.
All by myself.
And the only thing that saved me was that I had sold that gorgeous blue Charvel guitar that I love so much. But I was fortunate to sell it to somebody I knew. So I know they'll love it as much as I do.
Oh, well, at least that's something. That's out of the super do not touch or do not sell kind of tier of what he has left in storage. Does he still have that storage? I'm out of the loop.
They didn't have the money quite yet, so I got the money on Thursday, and then I could get gas and start generating heat again. But that doesn't stop. These 2 things, this whole, everything up here, this far, about this high, it's just huge swollen infection up top, and it's...
And then why the fuck are you touching it and pinching it?
Similar at the bottom. It's horrific. 9 years ago, when I became homeless, not through any fault of my own, just like this time around, I did everything right. I followed every chain of command you're supposed to. I did everything according to the book. I did everything right and nothing wrong. I tiptoed through my apartment, even as all my neighbors were making my life a living hell with their violent noise and screaming and shaking the building. I was tiptoeing. I did everything right.
That was it. Like, that's what screwed this dude up beyond all comprehension, is that these neighbors must have completely skull-fucked him.
They are the ones who did it wrong, and they are the ones who keep their home, and I'm the one who loses it.
Yeah.
And it's because these fake professionals in Minnesota do nothing to help. They don't enforce the law. They don't enforce their lease that they wrote. They're just...
It all cascades from there. Like, I feel like that's the point where it all cascades, and it's just problem after problem after problem after problem after problem, and he's just got this deep resentment for Minnesotans and the police department in that Hennepin County. It all seems to flow from there.
Just lazy bums. They're what they accuse homeless people of being. So I become homeless. In the first 2 years, I expect social services to actually do something. My tax dollars have been paying for it my whole life. But for 2 years, I ended up just selling off everything I'd acquired the whole time I'd lived in Minnesota, 8 years, waiting for social services to do anything, and they did nothing. They did absolutely nothing.
Well, you didn't want to sign up to anything because they were stealing your metadata, selling it on, and it's just all a racket. So you were like, I'm standing on my principles here.
We did nothing. And I studied it. And I wrote down what I saw, and I started filming it. I started putting it on YouTube. And I started saying, hey, we got a big problem here. This is a fundamental racket. This doesn't work at all. They're not even trying to be successful. And nobody cared. Nobody wanted to hear it. But then when a drug addict who tries to pass fake bills at a store because he's too junked out and lazy to get a job like the homeless guy wanted, when the police have to restrain him because he gets behind the wheel of a car while he's all hopped up on drugs and turning this into a 2,000-pound deadly weapon in the middle of a city, they send the police officer to prison, and people come out and protest to high heaven.
Yeah, he's a big Derek Chauvin fan.
In defense of this junkie who's passing fake bills.
George Floyd.
They burned the city to the ground. With what American Musical's wife's doing to me here, the worst.
I never knew this, but apparently George Floyd was in a whole bunch of pornos. He was a porn star. Couldn't believe it.
Violation of a human being's existence since the Holocaust.
Look it up.
And nobody says a word. Nobody stands up and does anything, but they burn the whole city down for this junkie. This criminal. Nothing makes any sense. These people are crazy. For 2 years, I wait for social services to do anything. They do nothing. They do nothing. They just run me through this stupid ringer. They prevent me from voting. They just everything. I never voted again as a natural-born citizen. So I had that miracle from God, and it had to come from God. There's no way that could happen. Naturally, it couldn't. That's what got me the job at American Musical Supply. For 7 years, I rebuilt.
Was it a miracle, or was it like more of a curse, Paul? Was it?
And I did it all right again. I did nothing wrong. And again, I get attacked by the lowest class people on the face of the earth.
Never does anything wrong. He's the goodest of good boys.
The worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. And again,
No,
nobody
the
in a
goodest
position
of
of
the
authority,
goodest.
nobody who calls themselves a responsible professional will do their damn job. More like bankrupt city of Eden Prairie. Nobody will behave like a professional. And again, the same thing happened 9 years ago. Just let the homeless guy rot and die and see if we can exploit him in the meantime until he's dead. Since American Musical's play, they killed me on March 8th when they locked the doors to the place I called home for no reason, absolutely no reason. They locked out their best, one of their longest term, most experienced employees, someone who alone elevated their company above the competition. And they just throw him away without speaking to him, without accusing him of doing anything wrong, without providing any reason, just because they hate homeless people. Hostile folks, the same thing as racist, the same thing as the Ku Klux Klan.
Jesus, he's like a broken record these days, isn't he? It's just year on and it's the same old tired script.
And the lowest human beings on the face of the earth.
But I like ostentatiophobe in terms of like how to describe the fear of homeless people. And I think like there's a Wikipedia or something like that. If you look up what is the fear of homeless people, and there's hobophobe. I'm like, meh. I like Paul's version better.
And people send millions of dollars to American Musical's play over the last 10 months. So their owner, who's never even been met by anybody that I'm aware of, can just live on a desert island somewhere, including all the work I did for him for 7 years. No health insurance. And the exact same thing happened. And this is what I told American Musical's play, Human Resources. I told them repeatedly, over and over and over again, from the time they found out I was homeless a year and a half earlier. Once they knew that, I opened up and I was totally open about it. You can't get a shower. I will never shower again if I lose my job. It's illegal to even apply for another job for a homeless person. You have to commit felonies, multiple felonies. And then when you accept the job, you have to commit multiple felonies all over again. It's a death sentence if I lose this job. I told them that. And yet they fired me anyway, knowing this is what was going to happen. No more health insurance. 9 years ago, when I became homeless, I spent those 2 years going through the social service ringer, learning that it was a complete fraud.
Yeah, you didn't want to be helped. Of course you didn't want to be helped. You're going to take my metadata and you're going to sell it on to some third party, and it's just like a whole complete racket, and there's kickbacks to senators and government officials, and it's just you don't actually get me you don't do enough for me to get me out of the homeless situation. You do enough to keep me homeless, is his read on it. But the fact of the matter is, like, you're doing nothing for yourself, Paul. So of course it's just going to be around and around ad infinitum.
A racket doesn't even want to succeed. Just thrown together with ad hoc.
You don't want to succeed. You don't want to succeed, buddy. It's you. It's a you problem.
With Scotch tape, Elmer's glue. Pathetic. Just for someone who is a businessman, a competent businessman.
He's a businessman.
Systems analyst, logical, just incomprehensible.
How many titles has he got now? He's probably ballooned it now. He's probably added on a few other designations and titles, and he was once quantum physicist.
What social services is? It should be burned to the ground. If only because you've got thousands and thousands of social workers on the ground who really do care, and they want to help people, but they're part of a system that can't help people and doesn't even want to help people. They're as trapped as everyone else. It's horrific everywhere. Just like every other scam in the world, there's just a few people who are profiting from that multi-billion-dollar fraud. And most of them have nice offices in a big brick stone building with a rotunda in St. Paul. The very people who never even responded to me in all these 10 years. Never even responded to me anytime I ever tried to contact any of those legislators in Minnesota. Pathetic people, just useless. This homeless guy answered every email he got at work. Gosh, I gotta get upset more often. That's the only thing that's relieved this pain in like 3 days.
What?
It still hurts like hell, though.
I guess he's like, the adrenaline is flowing, the blood is pumping, so maybe it's helping. I could maybe believe that.
No. I went out and got Advil today since I had some money. Ibuprofen's the only thing that ever helps me with pain. I'd probably take...
Maybe try some fentanyl, Paul. Maybe that's... I mean, it's probably good for what ails you, but just be very careful.
In 6 of them in 2 hours, it isn't helping at all. It does nothing. Anyway, 9 years ago, those first 2 years, I'm homeless, and I'm selling off everything I owned. My first music studio, everything. Everything I'd acquired since moving to Minnesota in 2007. One of the first things I learned is that there's nowhere to maintain your hygiene. You can't take a shower. You can't brush your teeth. I mean, technically you can. I can walk into the library and pull out a hygiene kit while all the patrons of the library and the Department of Motor Vehicles come in there to use the bathroom, and they see someone who's as disheveled as me in there doing this with my spit flying all over the mirror and everything. That's exactly what they want to see. That's going to go well. Or I can go to a guest.
Well, don't get the spit on the mirror, dude. Like, just gently brush your teeth. Don't...
Station where you turn on the water and it might as well be blood coming out of it. That's what's covering the toilet. Rusty, rancid water. So there's nowhere to maintain your hygiene. and I had pretty nice teeth all the way up until then.
No, you didn't.
That 2 years of no hygiene is what did this to my teeth. It's a miracle I was able to keep my teeth. They didn't really start coming out until, geez, about a year and a half ago. That's a miracle, considering what happened 9 years ago. But Minnesota doesn't provide hygiene facilities.
Yeah, you weren't. Yeah, like, this is the thing. Is like he thought he was at the Chateau Marmont, at work, but they didn't owe him this. He just took advantage of it all. Like this was just part of what they offered. I don't think even AMS offered it per se. It was more a part of this complex building that he just happened to waltz around. So it wasn't. I guess part of the lease would be for AMS to be in the building was like, well, you can actually share these little gym stations and cafeterias and stuff like that. But yeah.
These are homeless people. Dakota County doesn't provide hygiene facilities. So you can't get a shower, you can't brush your teeth. Again, no foresight at all. So instead of paying a small amount of money to...
Yeah, I went through this. Like, I guess Dakota County just doesn't have a lot of homeless people. Like, by the census or statistics in 2019, it was like a very low number. Whereas the Ramsey, Hennepin County areas are there's a lot of homeless people and there's a lot of homeless services. So he's in this like a weird sort of limbo where you just can't get any help because he's kind of in a middle upper sort of affluent-esque class area where I guess homeless people aren't an issue, so to say.
To provide hygiene facilities, they let 20,000 homeless people go with no hygiene, and then that becomes hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in medical and dental bills. The state doesn't know what they're doing. Actually, they do. They just don't care. They don't care if homeless people live or die. They don't care. It's just a gravy train for them. It's just money, money, money. Tax dollar money. And that's what I've been trying to tell everybody. That's what I did with the whole previous YouTube channel. Nobody cared.
Also, yeah, I saw he has like he got 2K subs out of nowhere, and my theory is this son of a bitch took some money and bought bots. Like, I can't find anywhere else where he popped up on someone else's, like, I'm thinking like a Turkey Tom or one of those like what is it, Kiwi Farm channels or something like that picked him up, and then a lot of their subs went and subbed to him and started watching his videos. No, his sub count has grown 2K, but like his average watcher and his viewer count is still more or less the same. Like it's exactly the same, if not a little lower. So I can't really understand how that happened. Did someone buy it for him or did he buy it himself? And I think he might have. So he's taking that money and whatever money he has left and maybe pissing it away. Just a theory. Just a theory.
Well, I'm working in American Musical's place since it was obvious early on that this management at the Home Office in New Jersey was just evil. Just mean-spirited, dark cloud evil. Every email they sent out to us was like...
Evil.
Kevin... I don't know, like, I was lucky I didn't have parents like that, but like, I had a parent come out with a baseball bat or something. Just every email we got was, don't do this or else, don't, stop it. So, geez, just every email they sent to the whole place. It was just, everything was just a dark cloud. The things they did were so wrong.
He liked the people, he liked the community, he liked the culture, but it was the office people, New Jersey head honchos that ruined it all. But sometimes he doesn't stay consistent on this point. Sometimes it's interpersonal drama, aka the backstabber, a few other people's various stalkers, people in and around his working area that kind of disturbed him. Like this goes back years too, so.
Discriminating against everybody. You don't get commissions. The person next to you doing the same job gets commissions. Just everything you do.
You fucking allowed that situation to happen. I don't want to hear this bullshit. You allowed it to happen, Paul. You went with it. You didn't chirp up at all. You just you made money for other people.
It was so evil. I couldn't go up to them and tell them I'm homeless, I'm living in a car. I knew they'd fire me in a heartbeat if they knew that. They hate everybody. They're just full of hate. That's all they are. Not the people I worked with, the office, the call center in Eden Prairie.
Yeah, he could never really establish the connection that they actually hated homeless people. There's nothing really that tied that all together. It was just something he throws out there just to make it seem like, these were horrible people. But I don't think he ever once established the fact that there was one of his bosses or one of his managers was osteophobe or looked down on homeless people. There was nothing to indicate that.
It was just full of wonderful people. It was a great, happy, it was a almost perfect working environment. It's this dark cloud, New Jersey that was the problem all along. You can't talk to human resources, it'll go straight over to them. Because that's all they do. They're just, the HR person here is a spy for these pathetic, nameless cowards in New Jersey. So I couldn't tell them I'm homeless.
I don't think she's so much of a spy as like directly working for the people in New Jersey. Is like she's not a spy.
Ask them, well, how do I get dental care? I need dental care to keep this from getting worse. But I couldn't ask them that because all those dental forms, believe it or not, have the same disclaimer. I have to commit felonies to sign these forms because I don't have an address.
See, it's the same old, same old. It's just, he can't solve this problem. He'll never solve this problem. It's completely solvable. It's beyond pathetic at this point. Like no one, literally all the comments, everything around, even on that subreddit, it's everyone saying this is not a thing. It's not a reality. It's just not something that anyone would take seriously. Like you're not homed, thus you have you've created a felony and you need to go to jail. Like I don't think this is the case at all. I've said it for the longest time. It's just complete hogwash, absolute hogwash.
They have to send you paperwork, and I have no address to send that paperwork to, and I can't ask the company to have them send the paperwork to the office because they probably.
You must. Yeah, it's just endless sort of like barriers of excuses. Like it's an excuse upon an excuse upon an excuse. So he's buffered all of his excuses together like a big dam, like a beaver dam. So every time you call him on this, or it's this, and it's that, and it's that, and it's this, you can't penetrate this anymore.
I don't want to do it, and B, they're going to ask, well, why you haven't sent it here? But then a year and a half before they fired me, they found out I'm homeless because my car dies that I'm living in, and now I'm more free to ask these questions. So I started asking the HR rep about how to get my teeth fixed when I don't have an address. And I didn't get some step-by-step, here's exactly what to do. She printed out a whole bunch of dentists all over the place that I probably can't even get to. Didn't have any idea what to do with the paperwork or what you're supposed to do there. I don't even have the cards for health insurance I've been paying for all these years. I've never used it. I have no idea how to use the system. But this girl...
Sounds like it's complete incompetency, Paul. Like, sounds like it's a you problem.
Who just sits there and watches YouTube videos and reads slideshows to us and then mortally attacks homeless employees.
Wait a minute, you lit her up before about this, and then and then the next breath he goes, well, we kind of watch YouTube videos too when it was boring and like things were quiet. So, come on, what is it?
She can't just sit down like I would sit down with somebody and say, holy smokes, you got all these dental problems, we got to get you fixed up. Get in here and just step by step. Here's what we have to do. Here, let's get it done. That's what I would do for somebody. But I care about human beings, not human resources. Human resources are something you throw away, like toilet paper, once you've exploited and consumed it. So even then, even when they knew I was homeless, I wasn't able to get anything done with the dental. Mainly because I didn't have a car the whole time. I'm stranded in a hotel, walking to work a mile and a half one way the whole time for 13 months.
Get an Uber. Catch an Uber. You were making good money. Like, this is where it all falls apart. It's like, well, my car was dead and I was walking everywhere. All right, so just catch an Uber. Catch an Uber to whatever dentist would see you, catch an Uber. Because you were on good money, so you can't use that as an excuse.
Almost as soon as I got this car, they fired me, so I never had a chance to try to do anything with the dental. And when they took away my health insurance, here you go. So now I've got another 10 months on top of the 2 years with no hygiene from when I first became homeless, and this is what you get. And how could it be any other way? You can't. The state of Minnesota sure isn't going to help. Here's how much the state of Minnesota cares. I've been homeless 9 years. In that 9 years, I've been out in Dakota County and Eden Prairie, Hennepin County. When I had that job for 7 years, almost all my time was in Eden Prairie. Almost all of it. The times flanking it, basically all my time in Dakota County, in Burnsville. Neither one can provide a shower. American Musical's play killed me on March 8th when they locked me out. And then they stamped the death sentence a week later on the Ides of March, the day that Julius Caesar was stabbed in the back by the people he trusted. It's when American Musical's play stabbed me in the back. And I told them that I will never shower again. And I didn't. In 10 months, I've had no showers except when I sold off things that I had worked hard and honestly to earn at American Musical Supply to pay $468 for 1 week in a hotel so I could shower for 1 week. That was in early July. Other than that, since the middle of March, I have had no showers. I've had no place to maintain my oral hygiene. When I had my job, my oral hygiene was back to normal.
Wait, I thought he goes down, he gets like a cup of coffee, and then he also gets like, he could also ask for some water, bring the water back, because he used to shave like this. He used to shave like literally dabbing himself down with coffee on his neck to shave. Surely you can get another cup of water. They'd give you a cup of water, and then you bring it back to the car, get the toothbrush, get the toothpaste, swirl it in the water, use that as your rinse in your mouthwash, spit it outside the car. Like, these are simple things.
That's why, despite that 2 years when I first became homeless, when Dakota County And Minnesota did nothing and provided nothing to help with our hygiene or showers. That's why it was still a slow burn. It was still salvageable. If I had worked for a company that would have helped me, that I could have trusted. Imagine if it was a good company, one that I didn't have to fear all the time. And from day one, I could go in there and just say, hey, look, I'm homeless. I live in my car. I need help. I've gone 2 years without proper hygiene. I want to get my teeth fixed so this doesn't become a catastrophe. Imagine if I'd worked for a company I could do that with, but I couldn't. They're too mean. They don't like people. Anybody who's different, they want gone. And then even when they found out I'm homeless, the HR person's so useless and cares so little, she doesn't just, geez, thanks for the help printing out a whole bunch of dentists, but how am I supposed to get to them? I don't have a vehicle. I'm stuck in a...
So she took the time out to research this, find them, print it out, give it to you, yet she didn't care. One doesn't go with the other, Paul. If she didn't care, she'd just say, I can't do anything for you, Paul. Look it up on your own time. You'll find something, surely. Have a nice day.
The reason when I got this car was a death trap anyway. It wasn't drivable anywhere. It never was. But nobody told me how.
Yet you still drive it. Yet you're still getting into altercations with old men in car parks. Because it is a death trap, and you still drive it.
To deal with the paperwork. I don't even know what to do. I don't know anything about the healthcare system. I've never needed it my entire adult life. I've never needed it.
Well, you're a scientist, expert researcher. You research everything. You research it thoroughly. Why won't you research this? Surely you're so good at this idea of researching stuff and understanding how it works. So why not take 10, 15 minutes out to understand the system and use it? No, not going to do that. All right.
I've always been healthy because I normally don't get killed, or I don't end up in a situation where I can't even maintain my own hygiene. I can take care of myself, and I don't get sick. And I'm healthier than everyone around me. But not when you're in Minnesota. Minnesota provides no hygiene facilities for the homeless. No showers, and you can't even just reliably and safely brush your teeth and maintain your oral hygiene. And yet, when I go into that library, into the men's room, when you walk in there, one of the first things you see is a tampon display. This county went through the effort of planning this and discussing this, and taxpayers paid people to sit in meetings and talk about, well, gee, should we put feminine hygiene products in a masculine room? Even though men don't have vaginas and men don't have periods, should we do this? Should we put tampons in?
Yeah, that is it is ridiculous. It's stupid, but just because it gets Paul's ire, I'm fine with that. In this instance, I'm fine with it.
This men's room and all the men's room around here, somebody had to take the time to do that at taxpayer expense. How much money was spent on that? Somebody had to make the decision. They had to make the decision. Can you imagine wanting that to be their legacy? For all of eternity, everyone's going to look back and say, this person decided to take public resources to make sure that tampons are available for the gender that has no vagina and doesn't have a period. How insane can you possibly get? They had to delegate in all these libraries, all these places, public places where they're putting tampons in men's room. They had to delegate somebody at taxpayer expense to monitor that, to check expiration dates, to set up a supply chain and get a supplier for these tampons for men, and to make sure that they're filled. And since everybody seems to hate it...
Well, Paul, it seems like you're on the rag at the moment, so maybe you do need a tampon. Aunt Flo has come to visit.
More often than not, I see these things either ripped apart or ripped off the wall, or just the other day someone threw a whole bunch of these tampons in the toilet over there, which sucked because I had diarrhea. And I go in there, run in there trying to save myself, and I go to the toilet and it's filled with tampons. And the men...
Shit. I mean, surely that will wick up and mop up a lot of that diarrhea, Paul.
Room. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to stick my hand in that toilet, that public toilet, and pull all these tampons out of a men's room toilet so I can do what you're supposed to do in a men's room toilet? These people are crazy.
These vending systems don't even charge people for the tampon. You can just take as many as you want for free. Yeah, that's a pretty good little scam there, all right. You never have to buy another pack of tampons again.
These people are insane. How much taxpayer dollars was devoted to all of this? To providing feminine hygiene products to men?
They're on Tamil that they will need one. Then if there's a fundamental devastating problem with the Minnesota economy and Minnesota's finance, if the government actually help poor and homeless citizens could buy their own tampons, and the government would no longer. This is a very poignant and particular issue for Paul right now. This is chief among his problems. I only identify as my pronouns are homeless/person. I am a homeless person by the definition of what a homeless person is. It's about as contrived as it comes, Paul. My homelessness is real in capital letters, so when he emphasizes that it's real, it's definitely real, not just some belief I have. Why then has the state of Minnesota and Dakota County allowed me to go 10 months and counting without the showers that are necessary to prevent me from acquiring everything from the bubonic plague to COVID and passing it on to every other. Well, you don't really intermingle with anyone else. You're like a hermit in this car, Paul. So you're pretty contained.
And yet they can't provide absolutely essential core necessary hygiene facilities for 20,000 homeless people. Showers, so you don't get diseases, so you don't catch the plague. The ability to brush your teeth so you don't lose all your teeth and end up needing $250,000 at a dentist to fix it. What is wrong with these people? They're crazy. They're incompetent. They don't care about the homeless. They care more about stupid fads that are going to be the shame of our generation for eons to come. They are the ones perpetrating these idiocies. Men don't have a vagina. They don't have a period.
Whoa. Easy on the Ford Fusion. The engine might fall out.
How stupid are these people? And they're spending all this money and devoting public resources to this. And they can't give me a place to brush my teeth. And I can't get a shower in 10 months. This is what I told American Musical Supply. If I get fired, this is what I'm facing. They knew it because I went into great detail with HR and my manager there right after Christmas in her office. And I walked her through the whole process of me.
I think I made this point before. I think pain really gets him like super focused on all the events surrounding his firing, so he gets very worked up, and I guess as a way of perhaps coping or trying to deal with the pain, he unleashes in these like diatribes and these like violent banging, and I guess it's cathartic. It might be cathartic in a way that actually relieves the pain. Maybe I can believe that.
Me trying to get one shower over the entire Christmas holiday and how there was nothing. Because the showers at work.
Because if all you focus is on the pain all the time, you're not really thinking about anything else but the pain. But then you think of something in your life that's pissing you off, and then you go on a diatribe and like start banging your desk and like, you know, punching the air. You'd be like, I actually wasn't feeling too bad in that moment. Okay.
We're under construction, under renovation. They knew exactly what I was looking at. I walked them through every step, every church, every place I went. I told them exactly what I get. No shower. But if I need a tampon, they're all over the place. Always within walking distance. I can walk into a men's room and get a tampon.
Can someone, like, all right, can someone donate a portable shower to Paul? Like, you know, the ones with the, I guess you kind of like set up this tent. It's like a weird tent thing. You can stand in it. I guess he has to get water. So it's like, if there's going to be one problem, he's going to probably be the water, like clean water too. It's just like, well, I don't know if that would work in the end. And would he want to really shower in the weather outside? I guess not. But either way, he'd probably come up with an excuse. If you provided him the portable shower with everything set up, he just needed to get his own water eventually. Yeah, he probably wouldn't.
How can a homeless person know more about administration of a competent system than these elected and appointed officials? These people who make all this money, live in these nice houses, and have these nice cars. They don't have the foggiest idea what they're doing. How can a homeless man seek success in his endeavors in life? And these people set up a system where success isn't even a consideration. They don't care. They could succeed, they could fail, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they've rigged the game against you, Paul. Like, this was all rigged from the start. So no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much research you do, and how competent you are, it's a rigged game. The balance of power is weighted against you. So he's scrambling from the bottom, trying to like get to the top, but it'll never happen. It's just like, you know, swimming upstream.
It's not even part of what they're doing. It's irrelevant. How can a homeless man be so much better than these people? And I'm sitting here over Christmas with no heat.
You were outsmarted by a homeless guy. God.
3 toothaches simultaneously, completely alone, can't escape, no food, no beverages.
In a disabled car. He's in his disabled car, so that's another thing.
Creepy people surrounding me that I can't escape from. And American Musical Supply just goes on and on and on. Their customers keep sending them millions of dollars. Their vendors keep saying, we're really proud. We're really proud to have this company that murders homeless people in the manner of the European freaking Holocaust from 80 years ago. We're really proud to have them selling our products. That's
a direct quote too. I'm sure that was said during a board meeting. Direct quote.
This whole world is insane. I was the only person apparently who did everything right here, who even tried to do anything right. This backstabber did nothing but stab in the back.
Oh.
She gets to keep her job.
Now that's a real stab. That's the kind of thing when Paul describes being stabbed so viciously in the back. That looks like the motion that she had to use, because he's kind of still a husky gentleman. You really have to get in there with the knife. You can't just do like a very slow kind of step. You gotta get in there.
What kind of people do that? Who made that asinine decision? Well, let's take our most valuable, our hardest working, even does things off the clock, older, so he has more experience both in the music industry and the history of music, academics of music, playing music.
Paul, you've to say I have done it all, like literally every field you can think of, including the music field and the music industry and knowledge of that. You've done it all. You can say you've done it all. There's no knowledge that's outside your purview, you know?
And he plays all these different instruments, and he's still always learning more. This guy is a walking encyclopedia of music. He's built up a great rapport with his coworkers, a great rapport with the customers. The customers are constantly asking him to get them in touch with corporate or supervisors so they can praise him. So let's get rid of this guy because a backstabber filed a malicious harassment claim against him. Completely baseless, nothing there. I gave her a gift that she gave me her explicit permission to give her. Am I the only competent person on the face of the earth? If vendors ever end up watching this, Fender, Gibson, Schecter, Marshall, Arturia,
Stratocaster.
all of you. I'd love to work with you. I'd love going to your trainings. You might remember me. I'm the guy who would stay after and ask questions so often because I really wanted to know. I was the guy taking all those notes. I was really.
And then wraps around ideas and sales and marketing based on my experience as a businessman. I'm a businessman, a revenue manager, a lifelong musician, and a pioneer MIDI user. MIDI user. He's not a pioneer MIDI creator. He's just like used, he made your Nokia ringtones, podcaster and YouTuber.
Really interested. I love selling your products. Taylor, how many GS Minis did I sell to people who called up not knowing what guitar they wanted? Because I went through Taylor University, and you were so kind to give me that guitar.
I guess he's appealed to everyone now. He's like, who haven't I appealed to yet? Oh, the vendors that I used to go to their training. They might remember me and hire me or, take pity on me.
That GS Mini, which I've now lost thanks to American Musical Supply. Fender, that Paramount guitar I had that was the most gorgeous acoustic guitar I've ever held in my hands in my entire life. Gone, thanks to American Musical Supply. How can you have these people sell your products? How can you do that? That's like doing business with IG Farben or the Mengele Company during the Holocaust. IG Farben created the Zyklon B gas. Mengele Company, Joseph Mengele, Dr. Joseph Mengele.
I don't think you can go a video without mentioning the good doctor.
Mengele Company's the one that allowed Mengele to escape and never be prosecuted for his crimes. Live out his whole life until he died in 1979, while the Mengele Company just keeps sending him money so he can live. You're gonna have a company like that sell your products? Customers, do you have any dignity at all? I understand the world has changed, that people don't have as much class as they used to. They don't have integrity anymore. But damn, how bad does a company have to be before you tell them, you change your ways before we ever give you $1 again? They annihilated my life worse than anyone has suffered since the European...
So, if I might do a poll with the video, is like, do you think through these videos, Paul has attracted more business to AMS, or has he driven more customers away from AMS? I want to say it might be a matter of 5 or 10, but I'd say he has boosted them in a weird, people just maliciously, just to spite him, will go, you know what, I'm going to order that $10,000 drum kit.
Holocaust! There is nobody else who has suffered for 10 months. Loss, loneliness, pain and suffering and torment and torture, daily waiting to die when he doesn't want to die. I wanted to live. I had things I wanted to do in my life. How can you give that company $1? How can you allow that company to sell your products with any kind of a conscience?
All right, I'm going to order some from them today. All right, that's it. I don't care. I'm going to order to one of my relatives in the States. Here's a nice, cowbell or something.
The best person this company had, the best-hearted person, the one with the smile and the laughter. The one who everyone just always said, wow, he's just such a nice guy from the time I was a little kid. Oh, my girlfriends in high school, whenever I would go meet their parents would be like, holy cow, you gotta marry.
Yeah, he's got all these girlfriends now, and apparently a wife. He had a wife at one point, allegedly, apparently. It's just like, these things just manifest. They just pop out of the ether where you never really heard him talk about it before, but then it gradually becomes part of the narrative. When did he ever say this? When did he ever talk about this part of his life? Kind of vaguely, very far and few between, and then all of a sudden it's just ingrained into the narrative.
Marry this guy. He is so polite. This kid is completely unlike all these other kids. He's so nice. He's so polite. This guy's respectful.
I bet Paul as a kid was just unbearable, just so goddamn annoying.
He has a big heart. That's what my whole life's been, and they do this to me. Why? Why'd they turn me into a screaming maniac like three toothaches on Christmas? Why'd they do this to me? I didn't do anything to them. And why are you supporting them? My God, this hurts so bad. Every one of them belongs in a prison. Every one of them. Nuremberg set the precedent.
Uh-oh. it seems to be where this always ends up when he gets really fucking heated, or he's got pain or some sort of discomfort. Like his bulging, what is it, a spleen coming out, or his intestines coming out, or this back issue he has with from the cougar, like this thing used to like be driven into his like spine, and it used to cause him so much pain. When he gets this intense, Nuremberg, and like some sort of death sentence comes with it very quickly.
For this kind of thing, nobody gets a free pass. And that includes that backstabber who started all of this 1 year ago when I asked for her help and she said, sure. And she lied. Nuremberg set the precedent. Nuremberg set the precedent for a Holocaust-scale crime against humanity like this.
Yeah, it's always like with this thing is there's like a chain reaction of things he'll say in moments of like passion or pain, where it's like Nuremberg, execution, backstabber, like it just these words just come into his brain.
And Fender, Gibson, all of you, if you're going to have these people selling your products, you better hope the day doesn't come when they do finally get their Nuremberg trials. Because what are you going to do? Just say, well, I didn't know they were committing a Holocaust.
Yeah, they were just bystanders, Paul. They were just, what does he always do? Just following orders.
Visited this channel called the American Homeless Holocaust where he clearly explained how this thing works. But we didn't know anything about it. Shame on every one of you. Shame on every one of you. You kill the best people among you and keep the worst. Shame on every one of you. You put tampons in a men's room, but you don't save taxpayers millions and millions of dollars by just letting someone brush their freaking teeth and take a shower. What is wrong with you people? How can a homeless guy know how to run the show better than you do? Shame on every one of you.
Oh, right. That is the video. Paul is as cracked as he usually is, but he is branching out in the last few videos. I guess it's more of a commentary on misinformation and media manipulation. That seems, it all ties back to AMS situation, of course, and him being permanently fake homeless. But yeah, it's all the same. Nothing really changed in terms of like this situation here. But people are, I think, from what I understand, they are helping him out. There are like this infection. These 3 simultaneous infections are going to go away in the next video. Like, miraculously, it's a Christmas miracle. How did this happen? So he has benefactors out there, people that are going to help him out. And yeah, he's miraculously made it through the winter. He's still, I guess it's still the winter season there, but he's making it through. He thought he was going to be dead at least probably 15 times over before I made another video. So, yeah, so all right, guys, I'm back. I don't know what the upload schedule will look like, but we're not going to try go weeks to months. I might actually make a video on another guy. Love Left Me Forever. He has finally come back. Gotta be careful how I make that video because he is he's a flagger. He'll try to get the video taken down. So I'll see how I go. I might make a little bit of a video on it and see if it stays up. If it gets flagged, maybe, I don't know. Because he is quite sensitive to any criticism. But he's like, he's Paul-like. I think he was teetering on homelessness, but he's much more confident in terms of like staying housed and homed, and that isn't the backbone of who he is. If you've never seen him or you've never heard how he is, I'll make that video. He is quite... They're about... Well, Love Left Me Forever, aka Wayne, is, say, about 10 years older than Paul. Yeah, I think he's 67 and Paul's 57, so yeah. Alright, guys, there it is. I've come back. That is Paul for you. Not improved, not changed his situation, but I think he is now allowing for some sort of donation. I don't know if it's through the old PayPal, and also probably he's lightened up and allowed some of these social services to perhaps help him. All right, guys, take it easy. Till next time.